My name's Ethan, 33, and Christmas used to light up my world. It wasn't the presents or the feast that made it special. It was the one time my family seemed to genuinely enjoy each other's company. We'd pile into my parents' house, trade modest gifts wrapped in glittery paper, devour plates of roast beef, and blast the same slightly out-of-tune holiday tunes until someone, usually my cousin Tyler, spilled a drink or tripped over the rug. It was messy, noisy, sometimes subtly tense, but it felt like home. At least it did back then. This year, I got a head start on the season. I ordered thoughtful gifts, nothing extravagant, just items I knew they'd appreciate. A sleek new food processor for Mom since hers sparked during the last Easter brunch. A pair of trendy boots for my sister Lily, who's always posting about her style vlogs. I even sent Dad a curated box of craft beers knowing they'd vanish by New Year's. Money wasn't an issue. I've been lucky with my career, and though I live in a small apartment hours away, I've always stepped up when things got rough at home. Rent, electric bills, car repairs. I'd sent countless discreet payments whenever Dad texted something cryptic like, "Can you cover me till next week?" No complaints, no fanfare, just family. So, when I saw a message in our family group chat on December 18th, I was floored. Mom typed, "Hey everyone, we've decided to skip Christmas this year. Hosting's too costly, and with everything going on, we're keeping it simple. Love you all." That was it. No phone call, no suggestion to meet elsewhere. No, we'll figure something out. Just a blunt, detached text. I stared at my phone, half convinced it was a mistake. But when I asked if they were sure, Lily just dropped a shrugging emoji and swapped the group chat icon to a generic snowflake. I didn't push back. I typed, "Got it, no worries," and left it at that. I figured, okay, times are tough. Maybe they need a breather. I stocked my fridge, warmed up a frozen pizza on Christmas Eve, and tried to lean into the quiet. I watched Die Hard for the umpteenth time, lit a cedar-scented candle from a colleague, and scrolled through X as snow dusted my window. Christmas Day passed. I slept late, video called a few buddies, and tried to shake off the sting. I told myself, at least you skipped Uncle Greg's annual tax reform lecture. I tried to be rational, to not take it personally, but something felt wrong. The quiet was unsettling. It wasn't until 7 p.m. that night when my phone pinged with an Instagram alert. Lily was live. Hoping she was just tipsy and rambling, I tapped the notification, and my heart sank. She was at our parents' house, the same one I'd offered to help decorate weeks earlier. The living room glowed like a department store window with fairy lights, a towering tree, and garlands draped everywhere. A karaoke machine sat by the couch, and people were swaying with red cups in hand. At least 24 folks filled the space, laughing, clinking glasses, toasting to the season. "Happy holidays from the True Squad," Lily yelled, swinging the camera around. I saw my cousins, aunts, uncles, even Tyler, already flushed and stumbling over his words. Someone set off a party popper, and silver ribbons exploded across the frame. I froze, my finger hovering over the exit button. So it wasn't about money. It wasn't about keeping things low-key. It was about me. I don't know how long I sat there. Too long, probably. Long enough for the pizza to cool. Long enough for the candle to burn low. I didn't cry or yell. I just sat, letting the betrayal settle like a stone. I'd been erased. Quietly, deliberately, without a word of explanation. The next morning, December 26th, my phone buzzed. A text from Dad. No greeting, no holiday wishes. Just, "Can you send $2,800 for January? Need it, ASAP." Nothing about the party. No remorse. Just a stark demand for cash, like I was a faceless bank account. Something in me broke. I stared at the message, then opened my banking app. I scrolled through every automatic payment I'd set up for them. The mortgage I'd been covering for their rental property. The phone plan Lily was still on. The streaming subscriptions I'd paid for. Even the utilities. Water, power, Wi-Fi. All tied to my accounts. All funded by me. I stopped, not out of hesitation, but to be certain this wasn't just anger talking. It wasn't. This was clarity. I texted back, "Don't contact me again. I don't support deceit." Then I blocked his number. I canceled every payment, every auto-pay, every linked account. I spent hours on the phone with customer service reps, utility companies, and bank staff explaining the situation. One of them, Karen from the power company, said, "That's terrible. I hope you're okay." I replied, "I will be. Thank you." I didn't lash out. I didn't post a tirade online or call to scream. I just severed the ties, quietly, precisely, the way they'd cut me out. By 8:15 a.m. the next day, I had 47 missed calls. I didn't pick up, but I listened to one voicemail. It was Mom, her voice trembling. "Please, Ethan, call us. It's a misunderstanding. Just talk to us." I didn't delete it. I didn't respond either, because for the first time I held the power, and I wasn't finished. I ignored the calls that kept coming. Every few hours, my phone lit up, blocked numbers, voicemails from unknown contacts, even DMs from distant relatives I hadn't spoken to in ages. One cousin texted, "Yo, it wasn't a big deal, just a spur-of-the-moment thing. You didn't miss much." I didn't reply. I screenshotted it and saved it to a folder on my phone labeled Proof, because I wasn't just walking away, I was ensuring they'd never pull this again. By late December, the consequences hit. The phone plan shut off. Lily posted a vague rant about family betrayals and how some people ruin everything. A few followers commented with heart emojis. Most ignored it. She tried DMing me, but her messages didn't go through. She forgot I'd blocked her. Then Dad emailed. Subject, urgent. "Ethan, please, let's talk." It was a long, meandering message, sprinkled with lines like, "You've always been emotional and you're overreacting." No mention of the lie, no acknowledgement of the party, just a plea about how they were struggling and had always counted on me. He ended with, "You're still our son. Family sticks together." I almost laughed. Now family sticks together? I closed the email, but that last line lingered. Family sticks together. It echoed like a hollow catchphrase they'd only remembered when their world started crumbling. I could have let it end there, with the quiet victory of cutting them off. But then, my bank flagged a suspicious login. I thought it was a scam at first, but the bank confirmed it. Someone tried accessing my account from a familiar device, a tablet I'd left at their house during a visit 3 years ago. I'd never signed out. I stared at the report. 3 failed password attempts. I knew who it was. The next morning, I drove to their house. No heads up, no text. I just showed up. The place looked the same. Fading Christmas lights, a lopsided reindeer decoration on the lawn. I parked across the street, watching the quiet house. Dark windows, no music, no laughter. I rang the doorbell once, no response. I knocked. Finally, Dad opened the door, wearing a faded sweatshirt, hair messy, eyes heavy. "Ethan," he said, like I was a ghost. "Where's the tablet?" I asked. He blinked. "What?" "The one I left here." "Where is it?" He shifted. "I don't know. Maybe Lily—" "Stop," I said. "Someone tried to access my bank account from that tablet 3 times. He opened his mouth, then closed it. "I'm here to take it. Then we're done. Permanently." He didn't argue. He shuffled inside, and I followed for a moment, just long enough to see the wreckage. The house was a disaster. Party trash still littered the kitchen. Empty cans on the counters. The warmth from that Instagram live was gone, replaced by a hollow, stale air. Lily appeared on the stairs as I grabbed the tablet from the coffee table. Her eyes were red like she'd been crying. She started to speak, probably to spin some excuse. I didn't stop. I didn't care. "Ethan, wait," she called. "Can we just talk?" 5 minutes. I paused at the door. "I gave you years," I said. "We're square." I walked out, got in my car, and didn't look back. At home, I reset every password, deactivated every device, and called a lawyer friend. Not to sue, just to lock everything down. No gaps, no way back in. A few days later, another email arrived. Subject, "Sorry. It was Mom. Brief. A few sentences. We messed up. We shouldn't have lied about Christmas. We thought you'd get over it. Please, can we talk? I'll listen." I didn't respond. Not out of malice, but because silence speaks louder to people like them. I didn't need to win a fight. I just needed them to feel the absence of what they took for granted. And from the quiet that followed, they did. January passed in a haze of chilly mornings and calm nights. I focused on work, stayed off social media, and turned inward. The silence was new. No urgent texts begging for a quick loan. No subtle jabs about how I'm too busy for family. No sudden crises, just stillness. But it didn't last. Aunt Clara called from an unfamiliar number. I answered, curious. Her voice was sharp. "Ethan, I'm disappointed. Family doesn't abandon family, especially not when they're struggling." I stayed calm. "Did they tell you why I stepped back?" She hesitated. "They said you got mad over a small party and made a big deal out of nothing." "Did they mention I've been paying their rent for 2 years? Or Lily's phone bill? Or Dad's car insurance?" Another pause. "Well, even if that's true, cutting them off entirely is cruel." "I didn't cut them off," I said. "They pushed me out. I just stopped fighting to stay." She sighed. "Ethan, you're better than this." "No," I said softly. "I was. But better just meant I was useful. I'm done now." I hung up. I didn't feel angry or sad. I felt free. But they kept trying. A few days later, a handwritten letter was tucked into my mailbox. From Mom. Pages long in neat cursive, trying to feel intimate. It started with an apology for lying about Christmas. She admitted they let Lily call the shots and didn't want to rock the boat by including me. But one line hit hard. "We didn't think it would hurt you this much. We thought you were used to it. Used to it. Like being sidelined was my place." I didn't read the rest. I folded the letter, tucked it into an envelope, and stashed it in a drawer I never opened. That night, another voicemail. Dad this time. His voice was cold, clipped. "You've made your point, Ethan. We get it. You're angry. You want to punish us? Well, you did it. Everyone's talking. Clara's upset. Lily's embarrassed. Your mom's a wreck." A pause. "But don't think you're above us. You're not. You're just bitter. Always have been. And when you're over this, you'll come back. You always do." I saved the voicemail, played it twice. Because that was them. Unfiltered. Not the tearful letters or vague social media posts. They weren't sorry for their actions. They were sorry I stopped enabling them. The next day, I met with a notary. I updated the paperwork for a small plot of land I'd inherited from my grandfather, originally meant to pass to Lily after me. Dad had set it up years ago, preaching family legacy, but it was mine now. I signed it over to a local nonprofit that builds playgrounds for kids. Not out of spite, but to break the cycle. That land wasn't theirs anymore. Let it do some good instead. 2 days later, Lily called from a friend's phone. I didn't answer. Her voicemail was frantic. "Ethan, you're destroying everything. This is so extra. What do you even want?" She didn't get it. I didn't want an apology. I wanted to stop needing one. I wanted to stop being the dutiful son who always said yes, always smiled through the hurt, always paid for their mistakes. The next week, another letter arrived, no sender's name, just my address in slanted handwriting. Inside was a photo from Christmas night. Everyone was there. Mom, Dad, Lily, cousins, neighbors, Clara, smiling, arms around each other, drinks raised. On the back, in Sharpie, "We had a blast anyway." No signature. I smiled. They weren't inviting me back. They were trying to wound me, trying to make me feel small for choosing myself. But that photo showed me everything. They were still thinking about me, still trying to prove they didn't need me, still scrambling to pretend they were fine. I kept the photo on my counter for a week, face down, wondering if another would come. It didn't. And slowly something settled in me. Not anger, not grief, peace. For the first time, I saw the truth clearly. It wasn't just Christmas. It was years of being their fallback, their fixer, their ATM. When Dad fought with his boss and lost a paycheck, I covered the gap. When Lily blew her savings on a bad investment, I bailed her out. When Mom wanted to throw a lavish anniversary party but was short on cash, I made it happen. No one said thank you, not really. And now that I'd stopped, they were unraveling. Because they didn't just miss me, they missed the version of me they'd shaped, the one who never said no. I thought hard about how to close this chapter. Not just fade away, but end it definitively. I opened my laptop and pulled up the spreadsheet I'd kept for years, tracking every payment I'd made for them, every mortgage installment, every gift to cover a bill, every emergency I'd quietly handled, $2,100 for Lily's laptop, $1,200 for Mom's dental work, $7,800 in rent over 2 years, $450 for someone's car battery, still not sure whose. The total, $36,942, almost $37,000 given freely, never repaid. So I decided to reclaim something. Not the money, but the narrative. I wrote a letter, printed, signed, and sent to all of them, Mom, Dad, Lily, Clara. Here's what it said. To whom it reads, "You know who you are. This is not a plea or an olive branch. This is the truth. For years I've propped up this family financially without complaint, believing it was my duty. That was my error. I wasn't supporting you. I was enabling you. In return, I got no respect, only expectation. I wasn't a son or a brother. I was a utility. A silent sponsor of your lives, a prop in your parties, a wallet you called family. You deceived me. You excluded me. You made me feel irrational for wanting basic dignity. That stops now. Attached is a detailed record of every dollar I've given you over 6 years. I'm not asking for repayment. Consider it a receipt for services I'll no longer provide. As of today, I'm out of your group chats, your emergencies, your events, and your lives. I'm not the one who walked away. You shut me out first. Do not reach out unless it's to own your actions fully, without excuses or deflections, and without expecting anything from me. I've changed the keys to every door you use to walk through. I suggest you do the same. Sincerely, Ethan." I included the payment log and sent the letters certified. 2 weeks went by. Nothing. Then an email from Mom. Subject, One thing. I read your letter. I don't agree with all of it, but I understand your perspective. I just wish you'd spoken up sooner. We could have worked it out. That was the closest she came to accountability. But I didn't reply. Because we couldn't have worked it out. Only they could have. And they chose not to. Time and again. So I did what I should have done years ago. I moved. A new apartment in a new city. Spacious, airy. With a spare room, I turned into a music studio. I started playing guitar again. I reconnected with old friends. I started therapy. I booked a solo trip to Iceland. I lived. And one morning in early summer, walking back from a street market with a coffee and a bag of oranges, my phone buzzed. An unknown number. I let it go to voicemail, no message, no follow-up, and I didn't care. Because I knew they were still chasing the version of me they'd built, but I'd become the version I wanted, the one who knew his value, the one who understood silence isn't defeat, it's freedom, the one who doesn't run after people who only remember him when the rent's due. That Christmas may have been canceled, but my peace was just getting started.